To introduce myself, I'm Michael Hawes. I lead our strategic partners team here at LPL, covering our vendor affinity program partnerships, including Snappy Kraken. Um, Snappy Kraken is a great marketing partner of ours. They're one of our fastest growing vendor affinity partners. Our advisors are continuing to see success using their marketing platform. We did a little bit of research earlier this year, and we found that advisors that are using Snappy Kraken at LPL are growing at more than 10% year over year, which is almost four times the average LPL advisor. So we're excited to see that LPL advisors are continuing to see great success utilizing Snappy Kraken and excited for some of the insights that Robert and team are going to share today for the broader audience as well. Um, I know, Robert, you've got a few exciting product updates to cover in the call today, so I'll pass it to you to help us kick it off.
All right, that sounds good. Yeah, thank you, Michael, and appreciate you joining us today. And we've got Jake Lazarus here as well, our head of product at Snappy Kraken, and he will cover the product specific updates for you. I'm going to start with an overview of some of the data that I'm sure you'll want to see about what's actually driving growth. So these are the things we're going to cover today. You've got new data on what's working in advisor marketing right now in 2026. We'll also share specific examples of content that is driving results for firms across 4,000 different firms. We've got LPL specific case studies that will share how some LPL advisors are having success with Snappy Kraken. And then Jake will share these new features and content releases that are exclusive for LPL. So that's really innovative of LPL to create this content, give you something special that separates you from other advisors in the universe. And then how Snappy Kraken is leveraging that inside the platform for you to make it brandable and easy to distribute. That's something you'll see today. And then we'll also talk about how you can scale growth if you have multiple advisors with centralized strategy, but you have this distributed execution and personalization and what that looks like. So these are the 5 points we're going to cover today. And we want to encourage you all, if you have any questions whatsoever, please drop them in the Q&A. You'll see a Q&A link. If it's an LPL specific question, Michael will answer it. If it's a product specific question, Jake will answer it. And if it's a strategy question, well, related to the slides that I'm covering, I'll answer it. So if one of us is presenting, you have a question specifically for us, that's fine. Drop it. We'll try to answer those in real time. And if not, we'll hold them to the end. So just don't hesitate to interrupt us. We're more than happy to cover something that's important to you. It's possible somebody else has the same question. So without further ado, let's get into the meat of today's presentation. I said I'd give you some data on what's working in advisor marketing right now. So let's just start with some data. These are advisor benchmarks from 2025 and 2026, and I want to share what's behind the numbers. You can look at the numbers really easily and just kind of scan them, but there's some insight that we want to derive. And the first one is that what we see on the top 20% highest performing marketing teams and advisors that are growing versus the average is that they are focused on building a list they own, a list of contacts that is not able to be undermined by a social media algorithm change or some uh, platform change. They are focused on building an email list, emails, text messages, and names of prospects. And so, on average, the top performing firms have more than 5x the number of emails and contacts in their list that they can market to. Think of that like an asset. It's not just about sending emails to contacts, it's about building a database that becomes a value driver for your firm. And as they build their database, that's the first line. They're focused on that, capturing email addresses from everyone. They are also more active in engaging that database. So you can see the number of campaigns they're launching. The average advisor launches one campaign a month. These other firms are launching four. Why? Why so much more? Because they know, and they're seeing it in the data, that when they are more active, they are getting better results. And you can see that in the open rates, click rates, conversion rates. Look at the difference, how frequency impacts engagement. So somebody who's sending 3 emails a month versus one, they are getting click rates of 40% versus 26%. That's a huge difference. That's people that are opening these emails and clicking through to go to a landing page or an asset. Frequency leads to familiarity. Familiarity leads to trust. Trust leads to clicks. Random emails once a month don't do what consistent ones do. So consistency leads not just to higher click rates, but also look at the conversion rates. Once they get to the asset, a landing page or a lead magnet or something, a video, a form, they are also converting at a higher rate. And so this combination of build a big list, email it weekly, leads to more leads generated. And you can see the difference, 4.5 versus almost 20 leads per campaign that they launch. And so this is the first thing that you can benchmark against. Am I focused on building a list? Am I launching campaigns to it regularly? And if you are, you will get better results. Now, this is not just blind campaign launching. It's strategic. It's not just content for content's sake, or as we call it, random acts of marketing. There is a process that every single prospect has to go through. And it starts with just eyes on brand, being attracted to your brand, your website, getting noticed, showing up in AI search, being out there actively marketing. And then once those leads get eyes on your brand, you have to actually activate them. You have to have a way to turn them into a contact and get them on that list. And then once they're on that list, you have to nurture them. That's the consistent outreach. And then you focus the nurturing on conversion. How do you convert them into somebody who's actually now meeting with you, talking to you, engaging with you, and then they become a client. And then you can retain them and get referrals from them. And all of this can be done with a combination of content that is tailored to each of these stages and technology that helps you automate this and scale it. So the data shows you the outcome, but this is the strategy. It is about getting eyes on your brand and then moving people all the way through until they become clients and you can retain and refer them. And doing this is not something that happens with just one type of content. So one of the things that we're seeing is that the fastest growing firms are leveraging different types of content across that life cycle. They are doing referral campaigns to clients. They are doing prospect nurturing to prospects. Yes, they have a newsletter, but they are also doing personal outreach at certain times based on the engagement score of contacts. They are sending videos. They are doing social posts. They are doing lead generation activities. It's a variety of content. It's not just one thing that's going to get the job done. And that's because people learn in different ways and different content does different things. So when you look at the full stack of content across that life cycle, as you can see here, you'll notice there's line by line, right? We've got visual insights. Some people are visual learners. They like visual content. Timely emails. When there's a war or a peace treaty, people wonder how this is going to impact their portfolio, the markets, the future. When anything happens that is market moving, they're addressing that immediately. They're sending videos for personal connection. They're sending LPL research content. You're going to see examples of these in a minute. And that research content is for clients who want more depth, maybe more analytical, more educated, the engineer clients. And then there's LPL research for general clients too, and different purposes, which we'll talk about. But they're sending also quarterly financial updates, holiday and birthday messages. Right? So this is all just designed to activate, nurture, and convert and retain clients. Different types of content for different people at different times, different use cases. And then they've got their lead generation content and their social media activity. They're optimizing their website for AI search. They're blogging. All of these things are creating a well-rounded content strategy. So let's dig into some of these different content types and let's talk about how they work, why they work, and look at specific data from LPL advisors on how this is performing. So first, let's talk about these. Let's talk about timely emails. This is one of the most important core communications that you can send. And one of the things that we're finding across the advisors who use timely emails is that the open rates on these often exceed 40% or more because they are timely. It's relevant. The things people are worried about today, concerned about, anxious about, that's the thing that they are most likely to consume. So we don't want to be tone deaf and just send random newsletters all the time. We want to have something that's relevant to what is in the headlines. And so, for example, you see here, when markets move fast, what should change, right? When higher prices, right? Inflation, that's a common, we got a couple emails here on inflation. The Fed, what is the Fed doing? How does that affect your portfolio? Geopolitical events. And all of these timely topics that get put into a message are designed to reassure and build trust. Here's an example of a teardown of one, right? This is on Fed signals. This is just an example of one recently. How is this structured? Simple, consumable. You've got key takeaways broken out with headlines, so it's easy for people to scan. That's how people read today. You've got data backing it up. There's some visualization or charts in each email around the theme that you're writing about. And we include light calls to action. Not something heavy, but just, do you want to talk about this? This is excellent for prospects or clients who might have concerns, and they can respond and quickly have the ability to get a temperature check on how your clients are doing. And usually what you'll get from clients is just, yeah, thank you so much. I really needed this. I appreciate it. These elements put into a timely email provide reassurance and education, and they build trust. Often these are the ones that clients forward to their friends as well because it's timely. Like, hey, you should check this out. We were just talking about this on the golf course yesterday. Read it. And so this is one type of communication. But now you've got prospects, right? If you send them timely communications, you can include them in these. It has a good effect, but it's not designed to convert somebody from a contact into an actual lead. So for that, you have content of a different purpose. So let's go a little deeper. Now you've got a prospect. They've come into your database somehow. Maybe they were a referral. Maybe they came to an event. So they need to be nurtured. So you can see a diagram here on the bottom of a series of like 8 emails over 30 days or more on different themes. You've got an example, hidden tax opportunities, investment opportunities in volatile markets, maybe one for high net worth investors. So these campaigns, these nurturing campaigns, are designed for different audiences. Now, I want to talk about that for a moment. You'll see right there on the top left bullet point, it says long-term prospect nurture flows, and then it says segmented by interests and behavior. I've told this story a couple times. If you've heard it before, I apologize. But recently I was looking for an advisor myself. I started shopping around. My personal situation has gotten more complex. I need somebody with the right skills. And in the process, what did I get? Well, I start getting on the newsletter of all the firms that I inquired. And they start sending me things like, is it time to take RMDs? I'm 45. Why would I be worried about RMDs? Or what should you do if you face a divorce? How do you maximize, how do you protect your finances in a divorce? Well, I've been married 25 years. I'm not going through a divorce. What's the point? Their content showed me that they don't know me at all. They're just sending me random content. So a good system, a good marketing system doesn't do that. What it does is it identifies the prospect based on their actual situation, their criteria, their age, their income, their asset level, what content attracted them in the first place. And then they will go into a specialized nurturing campaign for them, for their life stage. That's what a good marketing system will do automatically. So you need to have a few different nurturing campaigns designed to move people through this prospect sequence to build trust over time and gradually explain who you are and why they should work with your firm so that when they're ready, they will convert. So it looks something like this. You don't have to do it every week, every month, not even once a year. You can go in and have a few key sequences, like this is one you might use for retirees, retirement income planning. You build it once. It's got 8 emails. It runs for 50 days. Your lead comes in. The system recognizes which nurture sequence they should go into. They go into it. They receive those emails from you week in and week out over the period of time that's been designated, driving them to a form to motivate them to talk to you. Do you have one of these? Do you have one of these for each segment of clients that you serve? Because that's what's working right now. Because people are getting bombarded with random content, AI slop, things that aren't relevant for them. But when you show somebody what you have is relevant to their situation, relevance drives trust, trust drives conversions, conversions turn into clients. Now, not everybody learns the same way. Some people like text-based emails. Some people like videos. Some people are visual learners. So one of the things that happens, it's interesting, advisors will come and look at content that's available and the frameworks we've created for LPL, and they'll say things like, well, I don't like that, or I wouldn't read that. And they forget that it's not for them. See, advisors love content that's written for advisors, but consumers don't know what advisors know. So you need content that's for consumers. And consumer content is different. And this is an example. Some people say, well, it's too childlike, but it is if you're educated as a financial advisor, but it's not if you're not. So this is just one example, right? This is a Visual Insights newsletter. It's oftentimes these will have quizzes, interactive surveys, polls, little infographics you can click through, and people who like that kind of thing will consume it. So it's got special content for social media. This is an example of a campaign you can see in the center. There's a landing page. You've got the visual insights, then you've got all the posts promoting it, the emails, the text messages, the social posts, multi-channel touch points, all designed to drive people into this visual learning experience, which many people prefer. So your content needs to have different types. It's not about one type of content. And that's the biggest mistake I think I see with advisor marketing is they just send out their newsletter. That's it. Here's my newsletter. Everybody gets the same newsletter. It's not tailored, and they don't pepper in other types of content. This type of educational content designed for consumers will make you stand out. And you can see here, right? Here's an example. People can scroll through, they can learn, it's animated. This makes it fun. And it may not be for you, and that's okay. But make sure your content stack has something for every type of client persona that you want to serve. And that may include the 70-year-old widow who never wrote a check or dealt with her finances, but her husband did all of that and he died and she's not financially savvy and she's in a learning stage. And that's okay. We have to have content for everyone. And on that note, video is outperforming by 4 times what text-only content is doing. 4x the performance. So one of the best practices is to take a campaign that has a video, put a video on a landing page, and then you send the email and the text message to your contacts, and that links back to a page where they can watch the video. And below that video, there's a form. You can see that illustrated in the diagram below. And that form is where they can submit questions about the video. And those questions that people submit about the video become leads. And the video should be designed with what's called open loops. So if you've never heard this before, an open loop is a question or a strategy, a topic where you open the loop. You say, here's something you should think about, but they can't close the loop unless they talk to an expert like you. So you teach and then you leave an open loop and they can click through and they can ask for help to close the loop. And so you use these types of methods in the videos to open the conversation with prospects. So the Visual Insights newsletters help you stand out. Videos are for people who just want to consume something in a minute or less, and they can drive a conversation. So this is kind of what it looks like, right? They get the message, they click on it, they see it on their phone, they play the video, and then they can take action. By the way, if you'd like to see this video, reach out to us. We'd be glad to give you an example. We've got lots of different videos like this. They can be branded for you and created for you, or you can record them using our scripts and it can be actually your face. And that's another thing that really drives that personal touch. Because today, with all of the AI created content out there, when you show up as a human being face to face and you just talk to somebody like you talk to a client or prospect, it's very engaging and people recognize the authenticity of it. So you can use our videos or you can record your own, and they're flexible that way. And of course, all of this is branded for your firm. So let's look at some more data that really supports this. Just take a look. I want to share how the advisors at LPL today are using Snappy Kraken on average versus how the best ones are using it. And we talked about timely emails, and what we're seeing is that 65% use the timely email as their primary content type. So they're not using visual insights, they're not using video as much. They're using those timely emails. So that's great. It's better than nothing. But 77% don't add that prospect nurturing layer. Now, we just talked about that. That 77% that aren't using this nurturing layer, well, you can outperform them. And advisors broadly don't have those types of nurturing sequences. And in case you haven't seen the study, recently Catchlight released a study showing that 68% of all leads that advisors are working are also being worked by other advisors. 68%. So you're competing 68% of the time. So when you add a nurturing sequence that's designed to educate and expose them to your firm and then convert them, where other advisors may call once or twice and not follow up or put them in a general newsletter drip, and now you're sending specific content instead, your conversion rates are going to be higher because you're setting yourself apart. And you'll see this 70% have no targeted follow-up designed to book meetings. So take a look at that diagram. That series of emails is all designed to drive them to a page where they can book a meeting with you. Do you do that? See, if you think just book a meeting with me on your website is enough, it's not. Most people get to your website, they're not ready to book a meeting. Most people see your marketing, they're not ready to book a meeting. What you need is you need to get them into your funnel, and then you need to nurture them until they're ready to book a meeting, and the content that you send needs to be focused on getting them to that point. But 70% of advisors are not doing that. So this is an opportunity because you need this depth, right? You need this depth across, this depth down through this nurture stage where you've got video and visual content and timely content and nurturing series. And then you need that to be across the breadth, across this spectrum. So you're doing this at each stage for clients who are coming in. They're being attracted, activated, nurtured, and converted, and then they become clients and they're generating referrals. It's different content for each of these stages. And one of the things that we found in the data, which I think really proves all of this out, it's not just about what I'm saying. Like what I'm saying is informed by the data. When advisors use 5+ content types, by the way, I just showed you 4. We'll get to the 5th in a minute. When advisors are using more than 5 content types, they are getting 3 times more landing page views, 57% more form submissions. Those are leads. 57% more leads. And double the appointment requests. Now, all of this, by the way, it doesn't matter if you use Snappy Kraken or another platform. This is what works. So we'd love for you to use Snappy Kraken. Yes, Snappy Kraken will do all of this. But even if you're not going to use Snappy Kraken, remember, 5+ content types across the entire lead life cycle will create better results. Not a little bit better. 3 times more views, 57% more leads, and double the appointment requests. You want to double your business with the same amount of volume that you have? This is how you can do that. So this is an opportunity for you. And just to illustrate that point, this is an example, one of your fellow LPL peers, right? Leveraging timely emails, market updates, newsletters, and behavioral finance pieces. He has a high content variety across the relationship stages. He's added over $150,000 a year in recurring revenue from just one client. And he's won 6 or 7 clients on this program. This is just one example. You can see exactly what he had to say. This is one of your peers at LPL. So it does work when you do it. So where are the gaps? Let's cover the gaps. And as we do this, just assess yourself and ask yourself, like, is this a gap for me? Maybe it's not. But here is where we see gaps in how advisors are marketing today. We work to help them fill these gaps, of course. But maybe this is true for you. So first of all, do you have active content focused on filling the top of the funnel? Are you running lead generation campaigns? Are you active on social media? Do you have an SEO and answer engine optimization, AI visibility strategy? And by the way, over 50% of all Google searches as of today, I don't know the exact number, I can't remember it. It's either 55 or 65%. You can look it up yourself. But Google searches, more than half end without a click to a website. So are you optimizing for these things? Are you making sure that your content is designed to show up in AI search as well? That's a gap. So are you building content and strategy for this attract stage? In the middle of the funnel, once people opt in and you get that name and that email address, we already shared some data with you. 65% only use 1 content type, but we just said 5. 5 is what doubles the leads, doubles the appointment requests. So are you stacking different types of content in these stages? Or do you just have a newsletter? Do you also have a funnel? Do you also have video content? Do you also have visual content? And then at the convert stage, once these people get warm or they're in your pipeline, do you have bottom of funnel focused, conversion focused content that includes calls to action? That is, book a meeting with me, get a free retirement readiness assessment, get a business exit planning strategy session, whatever that call to action is. Find out if you can lower your taxes. Different calls to action for different people. Do you have those all lined up so that any prospect that comes in will see a call to action that's relevant for them? And do referrals happen by accident or do they happen by process? You know, we've got a referral campaign on our platform that was designed in partnership with leading industry experts based on proven practices that asks all your clients once a year if they would recommend you or not. One simple question. And then if they say yes and they rank you high, it automatically tees you up to get introductions from them. And it does all that in an automated way. Advisors who launch these referral campaigns once a year are generating referrals systematically, consistently, every year. But only 11% of advisors use them. They're afraid. They don't want to ask for referrals. They don't want to seem salesy. And that's okay. We don't do it that way. There's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. But you should be doing something to systemize that if you want those referrals consistently versus haphazardly. So these are where advisors have gaps. But when you fill the gaps, here's another advisor example. Look at the data. So this advisor is running lead gen campaigns, driving traffic to their landing pages. They've generated 87,000 page views, 87,000. They nurture those contacts with visual insights, newsletters, timely emails, and social posts. That has led to over 180,000 emails being opened by their prospects. 180,000 prospects. And then they focus on conversion. So they send those re-engagement campaigns and those follow-up sequences we talked about, and they've gotten 3,000 leads. 3,000 leads. And then for their clients, they send out a weekly client newsletter, and their clients respond directly and refer them. So this is another example of how when you have content across the life cycle, it is compounding. These are numbers that any firm, I think, would be proud to see. But it takes a strategy, and that strategy has to be complete. So how do you fill these gaps? How do you fill these gaps? Number one, these are the biggest gaps. Add a convert stage campaign. So have a prospect engagement campaign, at least one, that is designed to take your new prospects and move them from cold to appointment. You need at least one. If you want to be better, have a few for each audience that you serve. Second, if you're only sending one content type, add variety. Layer in a newsletter, video, visual content. And third, make sure you're running lead generation campaigns across social and other activities to keep filling the top of the funnel as clients are moving through and ultimately, or prospects are moving through and ultimately becoming clients. So this is a prescription for growth. And you don't have to do this alone. We will help you. This is what it looks like. You can see here. So you've got an example of 5 different campaigns in order across this stage. These are all examples of campaigns that are available on Snappy Kraken's platform today, on LPL's version, all approved by LPL. And over time, you can create this same sequence with 5 or 6 different iterations. So your retiree clients go through one sequence, your high net worth prospects go through a different sequence, your accumulators, Gen Y, goes through a different sequence. So you can have this same sequence, but set up for different audiences. So you've got, this is an example, right? They come in on a lead generation campaign about taxes. They get activated, they go into a nurturing campaign about taxes, right? Same topic. Now, we find out this person is retired based on the data that's in the system. It automatically moves them into a different nurture sequence or a follow-up nurture sequence that is focused on visual learning. How far can your money go in retirement? Now, they've been nurtured. If you look at this, you can't count all this up, but there's over 60 different touch points. And then all of a sudden now they're warm, their lead score is going up, and they get that video from you. When is the right time to hire a financial advisor? And a new campaign runs that's designed to generate an appointment. They become a client, and then once a year they get the client referral campaign. This is a complete marketing system. It takes 5 campaigns across the life cycle, and you've got a complete marketing system for moving prospects from initial contact to referring client. And you can pick and choose which campaigns go in each stage. Like Matt said, another one of your peers, he just had a meeting with a $1.2 million prospect. What's interesting is he said this: I've been emailing him since the end of 2018. Do you email people for 6 years? Consistently, week after week? That's what we're advocating for here. Many advisors would say no. I try for a couple of months, and then if they don't convert, I move on. But the fortune is in the follow up. The fortune is in the follow up because only 15% of your clients will ever be ready to do business right away when they come into the pipeline. 85%, it takes time to convert. And so that consistency, that persistency matters. And this full content mix is what builds that relationship over time. Like this advisor at LPL, 250% AUM growth over 2.5 years. Now you can check the growth rate on that. Michael said the advisors working with us grow 4 times faster than average. This is far above that average. This is an LPL firm with 10 advisors. This is not a small firm, 250% AUM growth. So you take these leads, you manage them in a system, it leads to growth. But haphazard, just trying random things occasionally is not a system. And if you want consistent growth, you need a consistent system. All right, so now we're going to shift gears because you have the idea of this system, right? You understand how all this works, but how can this be truly and completely differentiated for LPL advisors? Well, we have some exclusive content opportunities designed to help you fill these gaps. And talking about these new content and features exclusive for LPL, we've got our head of product here, Jake Lazarus. So Jake, why don't you take us through this next section?
Sounds great. Hello, everyone. It's great to be here with you all. Robert mentioned how important it is to cover different content varieties and also have a steady cadence of communication going out. And, we've worked with LPL for several years now, and we constantly hear about LPL research. We hear about it from your home office, from the likes of Michael. We hear it from advisors, independent advisors. We hear it from groups like Kevin Lonergan's. And we've been really trying to figure out how to bring it into the platform. And we finally figured it out. We finally shipped it. It's now available. And we've gone beyond what any other marketing platform approved at LPL is doing. And I'm excited to show you what we have available. So as we move forward here, we've released a capability called auto launch. And auto launch is a feature that without you having to go into Snappy Kraken, you will have content going out for you automatically. And these aren't just single emails. When we looked at LPL research, Robert mentioned loops of, from a marketing strategy. You want to paint a picture and invite audiences to engage with you. Now, LPL research content is it can be pretty sophisticated. Some of it is more technical in nature. And our content team is exceptional at figuring out how to convey more complex information in a way that's palatable and digestible for different audiences. And so we've designed a standardized LPL research campaign structure that you can get a sense of on this page here, where we have a social post going out across your different approved social channels. We have an email going out. And then we have a landing page which hosts the PDF and has a form where your clients and prospects, if they're interested, can tell you that they want to speak more about it if they have questions or if they want coverage with you on that particular piece of LPL research. So everything is, by the way, everything is fully branded. It's personalized to you. It'll have your logo, your disclosures, your signatures, full personalization across the board. So this looks and feels like your office or your firm. And if we go to the next slide here, Robert, I'm going to show you. We're looking at all the different content types. So we're not just taking in weekly market commentary. We are automatically pulling in every single LPL research content type. So talk about content mix, as Robert said earlier. This is a tangible, practical, easy way to deploy a number of different content types on Snappy Kraken. And if you're not on Snappy Kraken already, I encourage you to check out the My Campaigns page if you do sign up, where you'll find the auto launch section and these different types. So we have weekly market commentary, we have market insight quarterly, client letter, equity strategy insights, rate and credit view, beyond the numbers, 30,000 feet view, and special publications. LPL Research, your home office team working on content from your research team, is publishing all these different types. I'm not sure if you all are aware of them, but we've read all of them. We think they're really awesome. And now you can send them out without any effort after you configure this from the get-go. I'm going to show you 2 easy steps to do so. So step 1, you go into that auto launch page and you pick the research types you want to use. You just click enable. That's all. You can read them if you want to see what they're about. We've added little descriptions for each one. Step 2, you decide who they go out to. Each LPL research content type, you can choose a designated audience. You can either choose an existing group or set up a new group for that particular content type. And you'll essentially, let's say you want your client letters going out to your clients. You have a more technical audience who's more, experienced with financial information. You can have a contact group for them if you wanted to, have your insights just go out to that group. So you have complete control over who gets what down to the campaign, down to the content level. And the workflow from A to Z is really automated. It's no effort for you after initial setup. So if you go in, you've always wanted to get LPL research sent out to your clients or prospects. We do the automation at the top. We're taking the content feed. We're generating campaigns based on the types that you enable. We are notifying you both via email and in-app when that campaign has been generated, and we are giving you a 24-hour window during which you can make edits or reschedule the campaign. And it's already been pre-approved by compliance. So if you don't make material edits, it'll just go out automatically for you without any effort. I know I've said that a number of times. I just want to hammer that point home. 0 effort on your end, LPL research going out. Campaigns launched and engagement coming in. And that's where opportunity scores come into play. So opportunity scoring is a system that automatically tiers your audience based on how big of an opportunity they are. And this is a time-based algorithm that looks at how recent contacts have engaged with your content, as well as what content they've engaged with and how they've engaged. There are 4 default opportunity score groups on our platform that you can use. There is the cold group, the warm group, the hot group, and the gold group. And what we see firms doing, like Kevin's firm, I was just speaking with him a few weeks ago about this. They're going in consistently and being reported on which contacts are most engaged, as you can see there, last week's most engaged opportunities. And they are following up with more personalized touches to the contacts who are demonstrating that they are interacting with your content. So if you go in and put in the literally 3 minutes to configure your LPL research auto launch, you will have content going out. You will have engagement coming in, opportunities served to you on a platter that you can reach out to drive business and set up meetings. That's the workflow on Snappy Kraken that's worked for firms like Kevin's, and you should check it out yourself. The next thing I'm going to cover is actually, I'll walk through the opportunity scoring workflow, just although we covered it. Engagement activities are tracked. That's clicks, that's views, that's landing page email opens, that's form submissions, text messages coming in, though not yet at LPL, although we're working on it. Your audience is sorted into different engagement scores. Your top contacts are surfaced to you and gives you the ability to follow up and get those appointments booked. So that's opportunity scoring and how it relates to campaigns going out. That's not just happening for LPL research. That's any campaigns you launch on the Snappy Kraken platform. Engagement coming in gets ranked into those opportunity groups. And lastly, we'll look at campaign sharing. So this is a capability we've built for group practices and offices. Some of you who are attending today may not be advisors. You might be marketing admins or assistants working with advisors, helping advisors drive growth. And what we've heard over the years is that, let's say you're a marketing admin who, works with a team of 5 advisors and you get a great new campaign from Snappy Kraken. Maybe it's just a single topic email or a timely update about, the IPOs that are happening right now and the hype surrounding them. And you want to add your firm's unique flavor and opinion and stance to that email. You'll go in and make that customization. And on other platforms or previously on Snappy Kraken, you would have had to go in and jump into each advisor's account separately and make that customization. Um, or let's say it's a multi-step email going out over the course of 6 weeks to new clients, and you want to change the cadence of the communications throughout that journey. So you go in and you change the delays and the scheduling of those steps. These are significant customizations, and they take serious time. But you don't need to do it more than once with campaign sharing. And that's where the marketing admin toolbox comes into play. Campaign sharing is our first feature and one that we're very proud of within the marketing admin toolbox. We have a lot more in store that will save you time and drive growth for offices. And the workflow end to end here is, just to reiterate, you build a new campaign in a marketing admin's account. You then share that campaign with the office and you launch it. And advisors are notified, by the way, the ones that you work with, they'll be notified when that custom campaign has been shared. So you'll save a lot of time. You'll get your unique campaign shared across your office and you'll have it scheduled to go out.
These are
Um,
awesome innovations, Jake.
and I know Michael, Robert or Michael, I know, LPL Research, you may have some insight or data to share. I don't know if we want to wait until the end to cover that, but we know LPL Research is a kind of a cornerstone of LPL's content strategy, and we're really grateful that we can bring it into the Snappy Kraken platform. We are the only ones doing it in this way. So, Michael, I don't know if you want to jump in now or later, but yeah, would be great to get your kind of input on LPL Research.
Absolutely. This is an innovation that our team has been really excited about for a long time. It's been something we've wanted to add. Ultimately, we want to make LPL research more accessible to our advisors and to our clients, and this is really the best way to do that. The LPL research team loves to brag that they have 400 combined years of experience, and that's really not experience that you can get anywhere else except for LPL. So it's awesome that it's able to be this accessible. I know Jake called out some of the content types, but the weekly market commentary, the client letters, and the equity strategy insights are a couple of the most valuable content pieces that I have heard from advisors that they're enjoying using. LPL research typically is trying to highlight like geopolitics news. We're trying to highlight what's happening in the markets. Why is the economy moving in specific ways? I think especially right now as everything is changing on a day-to-day basis, it's really important to be up to date. And LPL research is really the best resource to give that content directly to the advisors, and utilizing that through Snappy Kraken and making it accessible is really exciting.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for covering that. We are committed to making the ability to use LPL research and drive growth with it simple for all LPL advisors and automated. And so selecting those content types, using them, using these workflows, all of that can be fully automated. And if you have questions about any of this, by the way, just feel free to drop them in the Q&A, because we've got Michael from an LPL perspective and Jake from a product perspective. We're happy to cover those. But there is a couple things we want to wrap up with, and so now's a good time to submit your questions, and we'll cover these last core pieces about what this technology stack really looks like. So we talked about this life cycle, right, that all leads go through until they become clients, and then the people they refer go back to the beginning of this stage, and they work through this same pipeline. And so you've got your traffic, and then you've got your lead capture, and then your nurturing, and then your appointment process, and then your client engagement. And this is a cycle. And as you use content and technology to do all of this, which is what Snappy Kraken is all about, you can see how it fits into the overall growth stack. So the firms that are growing today, they don't just have marketing, they don't just have a CRM, they don't just have business intelligence. They have all three working together. And you can see that here. So all of this data on what's happening, what's being clicked on, what's being viewed, what's being opened, how clients are engaging, how prospects are engaging, what's working, what's not working. All of that needs to feed business intelligence so you can make decisions about what to do more of and what to do less of, where to invest and where not to invest. And all of that needs to integrate with your CRM for compliance purposes so you can pull up a client record and see everything they've read and everything they've opened. And contacts should be able to go back and forth. If you change a client's information in the CRM, they get a new email address. Well, your marketing automation system should know that and stop sending to the old email address. But right now, advisors are doing so much of this manually. And so this entire growth stack should have all of that integrated so that you can just go in, select your campaign, and launch it. Or as we discussed, set up auto launch. So it's that simple. And everything should click, everything should connect. And if you're one person, it's easy enough. But if you have a bigger firm, if you've got multiple advisors, you're trying to scale growth, you need the ability to do the same thing at scale. So you have centralized strategy with distributed execution, distributed personalization. So you should be able to go in, grab your piece of content or campaign that you want to deploy and schedule it for all of your advisors at once. Press the button once, have it go out to all your clients and prospects. That allows you to scale growth. Take what's working and make sure everybody in your advisor network is doing it. This is what the whole model looks like. So at the firm level, you configure your content, you configure your campaigns, you select your auto launch items. Even if you have different locations, it can be done at a location level. And then at the advisor level, they can be just acting on the signals to follow up on the right opportunities. And as all of this is happening, it's being controlled centrally by your marketing manager or whoever's leading marketing and growth at your firm. All the data should be flowing back up to dashboards where you can see how all of this is performing. See, if you've got 100 advisors for simple math, almost across the board, you're going to have your top 20% are driving 80% of the number. You've got your bottom 20% that are lagging, and you've got your movable middle. So if you can get your movable middle and even your bottom 20% to behave like your top 20% in their marketing, that drives a lot of growth at your firm. So you take the data that's coming back on what the top 20% are doing, and you deploy the strategies for the rest of your advisors. So if something's working for advisor X, you can see it, and then you can make it actually active and deployed for advisor Y. And now advisor Y is doing the same thing as advisor X, and the firm is growing together. That's the idea. And you only get that if you have centralized control, not if all the advisors are on different tools and different platforms using different content. You can centralize this so you can scale growth. And when all that data comes back, you can visualize exactly what that pipeline looks like. So this is an example. You should be able to see over the last 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 12 months, how much pipeline have we created? Where did that pipeline come from? What is our best lead source? What is our top campaign? Who is our top performing advisor? You should be able to compare, have an advisor leaderboard, see who's actually converting business. What are they doing that's different? Why are they converting more business? And so when you're scaling growth, it becomes less about just cramming a bunch of advisors together and having them do their own thing, but about finding what's working inside the network and making sure that all of them are doing that thing. And that is what this type of reporting is designed to help you do. So you need visibility. You also need personalization. Everything has to be customizable on some level. And you shouldn't have to go back and forth to ChatGPT and go and like put it in Claude and generate something and then go back and put it into your landing page builder. And you're going back and forth. You really should have simple functionality like this that automatically allows you to modify things for your firm. So take our proven templates, take LPL's research, and then use our drag and drop builders to make this even more personal. Use AI to come in and add enhancements, generate custom images, and then a compliance workflow that sends that back through compliance for easy review. or use it as is and you don't have to do any of this. But if you want to have that control, you should have it. If you want systemization and standardization, you should have it. And a good system will really allow you to have both, depending on who it is that's working with the system. And that's what we're here for, building a growth engine. And all the things that we've talked about, the customization, the content, the automation, it's all here. And you've seen the data. You've seen how advisors grow. LPL advisors growing 4 times faster than average when they use Snappy Kraken. That's just one example. We talked about how to double your lead volume today. We talked about how to increase your appointment requests by 100%, but also how to increase your lead volume by 56% just by using the right content mix. So if you'd like to figure out if this is really possible for you, because I'll be candid, firms are in all different places. Some have a lot of these things already in place. Some have none of this in place. And if you want to figure out where the best place is to apply energy and effort into your marketing strategy, let us do an assessment for you. So you can use this link. We'll show you specific things that are tailored for LPL, and we'll help you assess where growth may be an opportunity in your firm, where it could be breaking, and where we can help you accelerate growth. That's what we're here for, to be your growth partner. So we hope you've enjoyed today. We hope you've benefited from it. Thank you so much, Michael, for coming and teeing this up and sharing some data from LPL. Jake, thank you so much for the product enhancements tailored to LPL advisors. We are here to serve you. So for any of you, reach out to us anytime with any questions. We're happy to consult with you, and we're also happy to help you install a growth system like this. So thank you all for your attention today. And we don't have any open questions, so we're going to conclude, but we hope we'll be talking to you in the future. If you're not a Snappy Kraken client, or if you are, we look forward to continuing to support you in the years ahead.